What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside Hollywood. I'm your host, Jazzie Belle, and today we have an amazing show because we have an amazing guest. She is starring in Nat Geo's new series called Genius, Aretha, where she is playing Erma Franklin, Aretha's sister. I am here with Emmy Award-winning actress, singer, and my sister, Patrice Covington. How are you, Patrice?
Hi, friend.
How are you? You look amazing. First and foremost, you are doing your thing, and this is a long time coming, so I know this is going to be one of my favorite interviews because I love you, sincerely.
Let's have a good old time. You know I love you all the way right back.
All right, let's get into it. I know you, but I want the people out here to know you even more. So, like I said, Emmy Award-winning actor, singer, and you are a Broadway vet. So you have a voice that's, to me, one of the best voices out here. So I have to go back just a little bit. We're going to get into the acting career. Like I said, Nat Geo, Genius, Aretha is coming out very soon. But talk to me about that voice, honey. When did you know that you can sing?
Oh, Jazzie, you always pick me up so much on the voice. I love you for that. Thank you. I've really been singing all my life, Jazzie. I'm one of those church kids, was in church choir. Dad was a minister of music, was always involved in the arts from a very, very young age. And, you know, but it wasn't until I was in college that I realized that I could actually like do this thing for like money. My father had traveled a bit as an opera singer before he became a music teacher and minister of music, but I didn't really have any other examples that seemed attainable to me until I did like the whole like theme park cruise ship circuit as a young woman. And when I did those things were kind of like just like summer jobs. But it was after one summer job at Busch Gardens, all my friends, they were like, see you in the city, to each other. And I was like, I ain't going to no city. Like, what city y'all talking about? They talking about New York. And so they encouraged me to just start visiting and to start coming up to audition, and the rest is history.
But we ain't gonna say the rest is history. We're gonna stick with history a little bit. Give us a little more about New York and being this Broadway vet that I just said a second ago. I mean, people watching this may know you as being another Detroit legend that you portrayed. Shout out to Mark Reeves, honey, in Barry Gordy's musical Motown. And you also did Effie, the Dream Girls, and of course Squeak, that granted you your Emmy Award, right? So talk to me about this journey of being on Broadway and how that all came about.
Broadway was always my dream. Like, I had to do it. And I started out doing like the bus and truck, meaning like we traveled on a bus and the set was behind us on a truck and we would have to put it together sometimes when we got to the theater. So I really worked my way up through the theater industry, which is why I think I have such a deep appreciation for every level that I do reach, because it was not easy. It wasn't just like something that was handed to me. But Ain't Misbehaving, I believe, was like my first like big one. I did that with a lot of American Idols, Ruben Studdard, Frenchie Davis, and Patrice Covington, and David Jennings and I. We got a Grammy nomination for that, which was, I still can't even believe that happened. It was just a fantastic experience. And then after that was Dreamgirls. I played Effie. I started out as the understudy to Effie, and they ended up sharing the role with another lovely actress, Moya Angela. We did that all over the world. We did it in Japan and then also all over the United States. And we opened at the Apollo, which was, I'll never forget that, unforgettable, beautiful experience. And my first time going on as Effie was with no rehearsal at the Apollo Theater. It was crazy.
Is that the video that we see now on YouTube if someone was to Google you? And see
that's not at the Apollo. Actually, that's in Detroit. That's at the Fox in Detroit, your people.
My hometown.
Yeah. So that happened in like 2009 and 10. And then Book of Mormon happened. I toured with that. And then Motown the Musical, where I got to be Edna Anderson and Martha Reeves and get to know more and more about the juice of Motown and the history of Motown. And then I left Motown to do The Color Purple on Broadway, which was perfectly timed and ordained in my life. It was a show I never thought that I needed. It changed my life it was a blessing to be a part of such a show that we got to see people change every day on and off stage. Like The Color Purple was always a good idea, you know, like it was just, it's a healing show. It's a teaching show. And I had the most fun. My part was ultimately kind of silly, but she had a lot of, good character and morals with her as well.
Mm-hmm. And I hear I wish I was able to actually witness it, but I've read a lot of the reviews and you were the scene stealer for what the reviews are saying, you know what I mean? And so talk to me about that, because I also saw an article where they said Patrice Covington is destined to be a star. And I was like, y'all better talk about my sis like that, okay?
Squeak, Jazzie, when I auditioned for the role, I originally auditioned to be one of the church ladies and to understudy Sophia and Suge, perhaps. And that seemed right, given what, the show had historically been cast with. And so I went in with that material. I had my, hell no, I had all of that together. And then they were like, well, do you have Squeak? And I'm like, why would I have Squeak? Squeak has always been light skin, petite, curly hair, like all things I ain't never been, right? So I had an attitude. I'm like, they're just wasting my time. I'm never going to be that. But what I love about John Doyle, who was our director, he was able to see past all of that, which is why our version got so much acclaim, because it took everything away from The Color Purple that it ever was. It was the story. Nothing mattered. Didn't matter what anybody looked like. We barely had any props. We used chairs and Bibles. That's all we had. Mm-hmm. And I got to play this role that was not historically cast as someone who looks like me. So, I sing a lot about yes, I asked Harpo, does he like yellow? And that was usually about yellow skin, but they made my dress yellow instead. And I got to tell this story in a way that had never been told before. And it made me feel good every single day.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Come on, yellow dress. I didn't know that. Okay. Now I have to ask this before we get to Nat Geo Genius Aretha coming out March 21st.
Yes.
Bam, bam. Okay. Where were you when you found out you were nominated for the Emmy and the show was, and when you found out you won, all of that? I need that experience from you.
Okay. So none of us knew that we would even be eligible for this thing. Like we didn't think of that at all. We were a Broadway show and we happened to do promo like we all do all the time on Good Morning America or Today Show or Stephen Colbert, The View. We all do those things all the time. But they started a new category that was best musical performance on a daytime television show. Woo. And we did a musical performance on a daytime television show. And I have an Emmy sitting in my house, which is always crazy. But it's right there. That's my homegirl. What up, boo?
I love when I come visit you and I see her.
She said, what up, cuz?
See you soon, boo. See you soon. So when you won, tell me about that night.
I was here in LA and all the other cast, most of us were in New York still. It wasn't long. I mean, it was within a few months of us closing. We closed in January of 17. I think it must have been in the spring, something like that. And I was actually judging a competition in Seattle. Okay. And my phone was blowing up. I'm like, what is going on? And I hear that we're nominated. I'm like, no, we can't possibly be nominated. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, if we're nominated, they're probably they mean like the Today Show is nominated, not like us.
Baby.
They meant us. And then when we won, all of us got this beautiful statue. So very, very exciting. Always a conversation piece. I can't wait to add more of her cousins in them to the bunch.
We're going to talk about that. I see it in your future. I'm not going to ask you to grab the trophy right now. We go maybe later when we okay. Thank you for sharing that story. It's so inspiring because it's like you said, it came out of nowhere. You didn't expect it. And look, God granted you with that beautiful, beautiful gift. That's well deserved, well deserved. Now talk to me about the transition, honey, from theater to TV. You're about to be starring in Nat Geo's Genius, Aretha, Erma Franklin.
Yay! I'm so excited, Jazzie. It's my first time on TV in an acting role. I literally have never been on TV in any type of acting role, not an extra, background, under 5, nothing. But this is a true attestment to my manifestations. You know how we are about speaking things into existence. And if you go back and look in any of my journal writings, that's like, goals or just affirming my life, I always said series regular. But surely I kind of thought that I would get other like small roles before I had a series regular. God was like, this is what you said, right? Here you go. So I was like, okay, I'm excited. Thank you, Jesus. When I got the audition, I was actually on the road. I had been singing background for Jennifer Hudson and Stevie Wonder and Christina Aguilera, all separately, but over like the course of a couple of years. And at this point, I was with Christina Aguilera, and we were in her Vegas run. And when I'm on the road other times with my theater friends, with tours or whatever, we get a self-tape, and it's always easy. Like I can choose anybody to help me with the tape. But now I'm on the road with like a band, and they're like, do what? Help you with what? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this self-tape done? Well, thankfully, one of my fellow background singers, his wife is an actress, and he was trained up, ready to go. So he helped me. We did my tape. It's probably the least amount of time I've spent on a tape because I didn't really have time to really do a lot with it because Christina Aguilera was a tight ship. Like we had rehearsal all the time, lots of things going on. And I sent it in, and that's, it was my truest lesson of what's for me is just for me. It won't pass me by. You don't have to nitpick everything, analyze and critique yourself. It was just mine. And I found out like a week later, and I had to leave Christina Aguilera.
Hi, girl. This is why I love you. Come on, shut up the deuces. We love you. We love you, Xtina, but bye, girl.
I love you. I know I had a wonderful time with them. Everybody, really. It was a fantastic experience, but this is what I had been praying for. This is what I wanted to do. But then what was crazy is that I still got to use my experience as a background singer with all these artists as Erma Franklin, because Erma Franklin was Aretha's background singer. Both of her sisters were.
You see those goosebumps? Just go. Goosebumps. This story is.
I know, girl.
Continue, please.
Yeah, so now I'm like, okay, I'm going into this. I have literally never been on this side of the camera like this. I don't know if I'm going to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I trust. I trust, so I'm going to try to do it. But what made me so comfortable was that I had Courtney B. Vance as my father, who just was so welcoming and gave me so much encouragement, along with Pauletta Washington, Kimberly Hebert, Rebecca Naomi Jones. Like, these are people who have all done theater. Cynthia Erivo, we all were theater people. And it made me feel at home, made me really comfortable. And Anthony Hemingway being at the helm of it all, and Susan Laurie Parks, who also writes for theater, so it made me feel comfortable. And I was like, I'm supposed to be here.
Yes. Your baby over there is going to be getting a sister. I feel in your future. Another. Who was the first person you called when you got the news that you got the part?
Oh, my mom.
Yeah.
100%. And I mean, girl, I was crying all over the phone. Like I said, I was in Vegas, and I actually was at lunch with a friend, and I got the call. The call was actually supposed to be to schedule my test for the audition. Mm-hmm. And I was a little stressed about that because I'm like, oh gosh, I hope they can schedule the test, because it was in person then, Mm-hmm. I was like, and this was October of 2019. Mm-hmm. And they were calling me to schedule the test. I was going to have to fly from Vegas to LA to do the test and fly back in time to do Christina's show in Vegas. Yeah. And when I answered the phone, they were like, we have your whole team on the phone. I was like, okay. And they were like, they don't need you to test. You've booked it. And I literally I have a picture of me crying. I'll send it to you. I'm crying like with the ugly cry. There's champagne. Like I'm just so excited and grateful because this is literally the moment that I've imagined. It was everything that I thought it would be. I called my mom and I got to just cry on the phone with her. I'm sure she was probably red nosed and crying too. And then my sister, my family, this everybody, I went down the line. I think I told everybody I could in one day.
I love that. I know your mom was so happy to hear the good news. And speaking of good, the reason why I was raising my hand earlier is because truth moment, you don't know this, but I saw it. I got the screeners. I saw
You saw it, Jazzie?
Late last night, girl. You know I'm gonna make it happen. I said, no, who do I need to call? I need to see some episodes. What's good? And baby, all I have to say, you are amazing as Erma Franklin. You are so good. The minute you and I'm not saying this because you're my sister, but you're meant to do this. The minute you hopped on the scene and just the sassiness of Erma Franklin, the little slick talk, girl, you got it down. So I just wanted to tell you that during this.
Oh, Jazzie.
But
I'm so happy. Thank you very much.
I was so happy to see you just sitting in your true essence, just sitting in your talent and your greatness. It's an honor just to be your friend and to see your dreams come true. Honestly.
Thank you, and likewise.
Thank you. Now listen, talk to me about Miss Erma Franklin, because being from the D, we all know about Aretha Franklin. That's the queen of our hearts. That's the queen of soul. She's the queen. I wasn't well versed when it came to her family. Talk to me about Erma Franklin and the importance of knowing her story.
Yeah, well, I didn't know either, really. I went to YouTube University. Unfortunately, she's passed and there's not a lot of information out there. You can find a little bit here and there, but I wanted to find as much as I could. And what I gathered on my own first was that, she was also a singer and had her own career. She was on record labels. And it just never really stuck. She was a hard worker. Up until the point that she passed away, she was still kind of trying in the industry. But she actually wound up retiring from something like a social worker group home setting for youth. But she and her sister were the last two of the Franklin family, which was interesting because what I learned while filming is that their relationship was very and we showed that a lot, but in that same regard, they had a love for each other that, that's my sister. I can talk about her, but you can't, and that's how sisters are sometimes. And then just that one of my favorite things that I found out was that there's a rock song that we all love. It's called Piece of My Heart, that we know that was made famous by Janis Joplin, but actually Erma Franklin originated the song. Yep. So that made me put back the layers to her music, and just, you can hear the Irma in Aretha. And I say the Irma in Aretha because she's the older sister, but Aretha was often saying how she could not have had this career without her sisters. Her sisters held her down literally in the background, but also so she could travel. She had 3 kids. So Irma kept her children for her, watched her family, took over everything that she needed to be doing while she was out on the road being the queen of soul.
See, that's what I'm saying. Watching this, I was like, I had no clue. Yeah. What do you want the biggest takeaway to be from the viewers when this show airs March 21st? Make sure y'all go check it out.
Okay. Everybody loves her music. Her music is embedded in the fabric of our lives. Everybody's. It means so many different things for different people. But what a lot of us, I don't think we really know, is how she really used her music for activism. A lot of artists did, but sometimes we don't know if it really goes beyond just kind of recording the song and putting it out there. But she was out there, really fighting and marching and signing things and getting the word out to make changes, and also reflected it in her music. She was very active in her activism. And when I go back and listen to certain songs now, Young, Gifted, and Black is a whole different thing now. I love that this show shows that ain't nothing really changed. Everything is still the same, really. It's still applicable. So music, use our art, like use your art, your gift to make change, because it is possible. And also just, you'll see what she overcame. I didn't know that she had trouble the way she did in her relationships and in her family. You know, I'm inspired by her journey. If she could get through all of that, surely I can get through the champagne problems that I have, you know, and whatever else may come my way. I'm inspired to continue to shine and push through and be a champion for women, as well as in my activism.
Listen, you are walking in that, because you are my sister. You're a champion for me. It's times we talk that you have talked me off the ledge, talked me through the struggle, and just being there for me. So you're telling the truth, y'all. She's telling the truth about herself. Thank you for sharing and talking about Aretha's story and Irma's. Now, Patrice Covington's story. Let's talk about a little bit of your journey as far as the obstacles you had to overcome. Because one thing I love about this show is that I want to inspire people that they can get through the worst adversity the world has ever seen, this damn pandemic, okay, that we all are struggling with. And you're working through it, you're thriving through it. And I'm sure there were times when things weren't so pretty. Is there a particular time in your life that you would want to share with us where you can say, I overcame this, this was my biggest struggle, and it hopes to inspire you to keep fighting a good fight?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of struggles and obstacles, truly. I thank God for my family and my friends. My support system is lit, for real. You being a part of it. But not that long ago, I was like really out here struggling. I just wanted to be in LA. I had to be in LA, and I was happy here, but I had no money. And I was auditioning, and just nothing. At the same time, my granny passed away. I got dropped by my agency. My other management wasn't really communicating with me. And I was just out here. And I had planned my mother was coming to visit me for Mother's Day. And I was like, I'm done with this. Like this, I'm too old for this. I'm ready to I got to do something else. I still want to be in the industry, but I got to do something else. And so I had done my research, do this like presentation to my mother. Not that I needed her like approval, but you know, our families invest so much money, time, energy into these careers of ours, right? And I needed my mom to know that I wasn't just like giving up, but I was going to move on to something else. And that was to be an agent. I wanted to be an entertainment agent. And I pulled up all these tabs, and I was going to do this whole thing like Mom See, like this woman, it was all Black women. I was inspired to do it. And I wasn't jumping up and down about it, but I was like, I can do this. Like, it was kind of like a settle for me, but I can do this. Like, I'll make it work. I'll figure it out. And so my mom comes that night that she landed. I get this call from Stevie Wonder's people. It's like, well, would you be interested in auditioning for Stevie Wonder? I was like, yeah, I mean, okay, sure. And I sent in like a bunch of clips of me singing, videos, whatever. And then the next day they're like, he would like to meet you tomorrow night. I was like, he want to meet who? Who? And I went there, and long story short, I barely got to see my mother that weekend because I was with him the entire weekend auditioning. Wow. I did like this because it was more like rehearsal. He was preparing us for the tour. And he said to me, I don't know what's going on in your life. He was like, but I hope that you know that you're supposed to be in this industry. Wow. And I was like, okay. Like, if Stevie Wonder tells you that you're supposed to do this and that you're talented, then I mean, who am I to say no to Mr. Wonder, right? So he affirmed my talent, and it made me realize that I was more afraid to quit trying this, you know, on this side of the camera and everything, than to quit. I was more afraid to quit trying and auditioning and everything than I was to just quit that and go to another job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were more afraid of trying to do it, like continue on with your goal, like your dream, and fail.
Yes.
Right. So you figure quit.
Exactly.
And
exactly. So, and then, like I said, it was Stevie Wonder straight into Christina Aguilera, straight into this. So I've been very blessed, and it was an obstacle because I just didn't want to do it anymore. It was hard. Like, I mean, everybody has, I kind of feel like I'm right in that. A lot of people have this story. I was just about to quit, but it's true. It's really, really true. I really was out of here.
Yeah, 5 feet from goal. Keep going. Keep going. Don't give up. You keep bending around the corner. It's right there. 5 feet from goal. Yes. One of my favorite sayings. And I know one of your favorites is don't be a star, be a galaxy. I want to make sure I get that right because I hate when people mess up my create, don't wait. They be like, create, don't hate. Create, don't be late. I'm like, it's create. No. Don't wait.
Create, don't wait. Don't be a star, be a galaxy.
Period. Talk to me about that and what that is, because I know it's like, it's kind of like a, not only a motto that you live by, but it's also something you turn into like a foundation as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, long time ago, I was on the internet, something, I don't know. And I got, don't be a star, be a galaxy, just like literally like dropped in my spirit. Right. And so then I just like added it at the bottom of my emails. This was probably like 2006, something like that, a long time ago. So this been mine. Okay, everybody, it's trademarked. Okay. So it used to be at the bottom of my emails, and, you know, my friends started calling me Galaxy and stuff like that. And it really just kind of meant like, you know, like sparkle, shine bright, you know, like be the biggest star. But then like over time, I realized like how much more that could really mean. And it started to mean different things to me constantly. One of them being shine my light on you, you know, like help other people shine. Because when you look up in the sky, you see one star, you're kind of like, it's one star. But if you look up and you see all the stars, that's when you're mesmerized, right? And the one star only can shine because another one is lighting it next to it. Then there's Bible verses like being the light of the world and the salt of the earth. And you just, you know, just share in your light and give. And there's so much to all of that I think everyone should live by. Because in this industry, you know, we got so much competition and jealousy and craziness. I don't like that. I don't like it. Like, I truly get excited for people. Me and my girlfriends, we share auditions with each other because what's for us will not pass us by. And I know that's what helps me sleep at night, because I can't afford to be stressed about who booked something over me, or, you know, what somebody's going to think of it when they see that I booked it or whatever, you know? So it's really just about being the best and brightest and most amazing and generous light that you could be. And then that allowed me to create the Galaxy Method. And the Galaxy Method is, I do master classes. I bring in my friends to do master classes and their expertise. But then also I do private vocal coachings, and I started doing music therapy sessions that I had no idea I had in me, but my therapist was like, you should be a musical therapist. And I was like, no. And she was like, you need money? And I was like, yes. And she said, I'll tell you how to do it. So she taught me how to do it. And I started doing music therapy for young teenage girls. The youngest was actually 9, not a teenager. And then I also had a senior citizen who happens to be Lawrence Fishburne's mother, who is almost 90 years old. And we just sing and we play music, and they teach me things and I teach them things, and we inspire each other. We give each other light. We put light on the things that they may or may not be struggling with. We bring light towards everything that is their life, and mine too. And they have, you know, you do these things for people to inspire them. Like, I'm always called in to like inspire the kids. I'm like, I'm the one that ends up getting inspired at the end of that every single time. So we help each other with the Galaxy Method.
I love that. Oh my God, that is so true. I'm with you on that, because I feel like with this show, I'm all about inspire people. Child, you inspiring me. The people inspiring me. Everybody that come on this show, I was like, yes. Okay, as soon as I close my laptop, I'm like, I feel fueled up.
You really are like that, because when you get off, you're like, what you want to do, girl?
It's so true. I'm gonna call you as soon as this is. Listen, you are the epitome of sisterhood. And I just really need to tell you that, because I know in this industry, you come across a lot of people, 1 minute they there, 1 minute they're not. And I just don't want you to lose sight of who you are. You really are amazing. Don't let nobody tell you you're not. Don't ever doubt yourself, because every time I'm in your presence, I feel love, I feel light. I feel good, and that's not something that you're trying to do or trying to be. It really is in you. So when you got people like Stevie Wonder saying, you're supposed to be here, child, and that man can't even see, but he's I
was about to say, you know how they say Stevie Wonder could see that you
Stevie Wonder could see it, child. You better not doubt yourself, is all I'm saying. And with that being said, it's so funny. With that being said, you are an honorary Detroiter too, because Detroit is just through and through you.
I know. And even my music that I did over the Christmas holiday, my vocal arrangers from Detroit. Like, I don't know, I can't get enough of y'all all the time. Y'all are amazing people. And maybe I need to spend more time in Detroit.
Girl, you're gonna come back pregnant. I'm gonna tell you, Detroit man don't play.
I'm on my way.
Take me with you. See, now we just have a girl chat. Let me get back to my interview, child. Okay, before I wrap this up, I do want to play a little game with you. It's called Confession segment. You want to do a little game? Okay, cool. Yes. I'm just going to ask a few questions. It usually warrants like a one-word answer, but we'll get there. Okay. Speaking of the cousins, joining the good old Emmy over there. Yeah. If you have to choose your next one, Grammy or Oscar, which one are you manifesting next?
Oscar.
All right. Dream role, what would it be?
Someone just asked me recently if there was another musical artist that I would like to portray, and I said it would be Patti LaBelle.
Come on, Patti, wings and all. Let's go.
Oh, yes.
Dream collaboration, music and in acting, who would it be?
I can't wait to be in something with the ultimate mom, Phylicia Rashad, and Angela Bassett also. I have to put two in there, sorry. Because she deserves everything and I want to be a part of whatever she's in. And I got her husband, so I'm on my way. Music. One person.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do something with Bruno Mars.
Oh,
just fun, a fun, good time, but still singing so cool and lives in the 90s like I do. I love it.
I'm in the 90s with you. What was your favorite TV show growing up? What was your favorite?
Cosby Show.
Okay, Cosby Show. All right, guilty pleasure. What is it for Patrice Covington? Guilty pleasure.
Oh. I watched them Housewives.
I knew you was gonna say that.
I watched them girls, and I can't get enough. Also, can I just give you a little bit of tea?
Let's do it.
There's an episode that just went off a couple of weeks ago of Housewives of Atlanta where there was a stripper.
Bolo
is ingenious.
Bolo's ingenious? I thought you was going to tell me you was in that room with Portia, that you was...
No. Bolo was in the room with me and Cynthia.
Okay.
He plays her bodyguard in the last episode during the funeral scene.
I'm going to be...
Not a funeral scene, we visit the memorial site.
Oh my gosh, shout out to Bolo. So I know, okay, that is so funny, the connection with your guilty pleasure and your current job. That is...
Girl, can you imagine when I saw him up there? I was like, that's the
dude. Did you see a print? Did to just see what he was working with. I thought it probably peeped through the costume. Listen, I don't know. I'm just going by what the girl said on the show.
I'm gonna just let y'all watch it.
Got you. Thanks for sharing that. Each other. What's the one thing you can't live without? The one thing.
Lyrics.
Lyric.
Shady Boots lyric.
Okay, and she can't live without you. Well, she gave a little wink. Hey, Niecy Pooh. Niecy. We love her. Okay. Before you go, if you could give us the biggest advice that you would give a young Black girl, you know, coming up into this industry, looking to do what you have done so far, what would you tell her? Because, you know, representation is so important. So I know right now you are inspiring so many with your music career, with everything you did on Broadway and everything that you're going to do in the future. What would you tell them?
Work on your confidence as much as you work on your talent. Because so many times confidence beats out talent. You can see that on social media. The people who sing the worst got the most confidence. So I my whole life, I've always been affirmed. Like I always felt beautiful and I felt talented and all of that. But once the competition starts, it's when it kind of started to dwindle down and I would start comparing myself. And I know that comparison is just the ultimate form of self-destruction, you know? And I started to do that. And I mean, even I typed myself out of doing Squeak. You know, you never know what's for you if you just have the confidence and go do it anyway. Do it afraid, do it when there's no way possible that you are going to get the job. Do it anyway. Have the confidence. Even if you don't look like it, walk like it, act like it, because it goes a very, very, very long way.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. Now, before you go, with everything that's going on, with everything that you share, what's the one word that you would describe the state that you're in right now? Not a phrase, not a sentence, but one word.
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Yay, Patrice, thank you so much for the interview. I had so much fun.
You know, I love you.
You know, I love you too. Now, if you love me so much, go get my Niecy Pooh.
Let me go get your girl. Hold on a minute.
Okay. We gotta show the people.
Come say hi to the auntie. There she goes. Hey, Emmy Boo Boo.
Yes. You got to give me a kissy one. I was screenshotting. Perfect.